I am now going to provide very brief comments and questions today. It would seem somebody has taken my jacket. It's not available for me to wear today. And my understanding is it's not going to be available for me to wear for up to 14 days. Now, if I had been able to be Jewish without being forced to convert after a horrible slander, then we would be on a different time frame right now where we just completed a 21-day period and would be moving forward on other kinds of actions. But that was not the option for today. Somebody else has my jacket, and as a result, my Jew must be stripped naked if I want to keep him. But we're right in the middle of an exegesis by Louis D. Brandeis regarding the history of the banking system, or rather the status of the banking system at a very important time in our nation's history. And it would be imprudent for me to just abandon that merely because it is inconvenient. I am aware that because of the kind of presentation that is necessary, there is the risk of it being identified as obscenity. But seeing as how this book is from the public library, and the public library, despite even my protests, has made it clear that they consider even pornography, including hardcore pornography, on site involving electronic media, to be a First Amendment right. I believe that were I to need to defend the honor of my Jew, I would be successful. In the meantime, we get to the sensitive matters at hand. It is very important to note the very company referenced by Mr. Brandeis in this book is in a very significant position in the United States right now. General Motors Company has been involved in a very extended and protracted process of reconsideration since it had to be availed of the banking bailout in 2008. Now, in another manner and in another time, I will provide more insight into my understandings of what's going on now based upon what happened then. I may also, and hope to one day get to the point where I can share what would have been my response had I been engaged in a good faith effort around the time that General Motors was negotiating its contracts concerning its employees. I will say for the record, as I have before, that the resolution that was arrived at the beginning of 2020 and was reported on publicly in the media, specifically regarding those who had previously been identified as temporary workers that were then being allowed to make the transition to a permanent workforce at GM, was completely unsatisfactory. But that also belies other implications concerning the GM negotiations, including ones that speak to executive actions taken by the then President of the United States that were not challenged by the legislature or challenged in the courts. Or rather, they were attempted to be challenged in the courts, but apparently the clothes weren't available for court that day. On the other hand, let us get to the paragraph in this issue concerning Benjamin Franklin. As he says at the end, there's a very different paradigm when there is a different reliance on gold and silver. It's important to understand the gold standard and the implications of the gold standard when it ended up being a part, very significantly, of the American commercial situation. By and large, we understand gold to be available to identify a means of currency that translates internationally. Gold is an indicator of certain factors connected to our foreign trade. Silver? Well, I believe that I would need clothes back in order to talk about what the actual implications are of silver. We will get to that as appropriate. I hope you have a good day.